What's up, world, and welcome to episode 6 of the Take One podcast. Now, I was telling the truth that I'm recording episode 6 right after episode 5, and so you guys can listen to them right after another, and blah blah. If you haven't checked it out, the description is in the link is in the description below of episode 1 through 5 within this description, as well as you can find this link in episode 5. But also check out my other videos. I have movie reviews, show reviews, mini reviews, blah blah blah, and all that stuff, and there's more to come. So, like I promised within the last episode, that this episode is just basically it's an all DC show. Everything DC within this past week has dropped a bunch of stuff. I don't even know if I'm covering every single thing. I don't even think I'm covering every single thing that they dropped. But anything that I don't cover in this show, I'm going to cover in episode 7. Yes, I am catching up to you, Lucas. Suck it. But anyway, now I'm just playing. But anyway, this is going to be all DC. They call it a DCEU. DC Cinematic Universe. I'll just call it that. This is all, everything that's dropped about Justice League. Basically, primarily Justice League. Everything that came out about it. So, I'm going to be covering all that. And, as I get started, I'm going to start off with, just like I did with episode 5. If you guys haven't checked it out, go ahead and check it out. But, as well as Guardians of the Galaxy and Doctor Strange with Marvel, they dropped the synopsis for those movies. Justice League has dropped, Warner Brothers DC has dropped the synopsis for Justice League, which is coming out next year, which is very recent as compared to, the Avengers movie, which we have to wait till 2018, but it's whatever. And the synopsis goes as follows. Fueled by his new restored faith in humanity and inspired by Superman's selfless act, Bruce Wayne enlists the help of newly found ally, Diana Prince, to face an even greater enemy. Together, Batman and Wonder Woman work quickly to find and recruit a team of metahumans to stand against the newly awakened threat. But despite the formation of his unprecedented League of Heroes, Batman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Cyborg, and the Flash, it may already be too late to save the planet from an assault of catastrophic proportions. And you sold me. But what I got from that, spoilers. I mean, it already might be too late for spoilers because that synopsis actually gave a big spoiler for Batman v Superman. So if you haven't seen the movie already, lucky you. But nah, I'm just playing. But yeah, I mean, just if you haven't, seen the movie, just spoilers. At the end, Superman dies. So what that synopsis tells me is that Superman either isn't going to be in this movie. Well, he was confirmed. Henry Cavill is going to be up in this movie. So let me take that back. But he's not going to be in a large portion of the movie. That the Justice League, which is kind of weird because when you think of Justice League, you kind of think of DC's Trinity, which is Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. And now you have this, Justice League being formed, and it has no Superman in it. And that kind of got me, it throws me off a little bit. But at the same time, it goes with what happened in Batman v Superman at the end with Superman dying or, quote unquote dying or whatever. So it just shows that, and even I've read stuff on it, that the movie is mainly just going to be without Superman. That I'm guessing he's going to make an appearance, but it's probably going to be somewhere in kind of the middle or the end of the movie. Maybe he's going to be more active in Justice League 2 or, part 2 or whatever they want to go with. But yeah, that just tells me that he's not really going to be in majority of the movies. That is going to be basically, I guess you can say, kind of Batman, Bruce Wayne being the main character or just being the leader of the group. And then Diana Prince, aka Wonder Woman, is going to be kind of the co-founder. I don't know. I guess however you want to look at it. So it sounds pretty cool. Like the thing is that there were reports of just it's already been confirmed that Steppenwolf is going to be the enemy in this movie. So, and I don't know if a lot of you been like keeping tabs on just like what's been going on with DC and Batman v Superman, but after the movie was released, there was a deleted scene, which is more than likely going to be in the extended cut of the movie when it's like released on DVD, Blu-ray. But it just shows a scene with Steppenwolf or Lex Luthor getting in contact with Steppenwolf. So more than likely, well, it's not more than likely, but it's going to be confirmed that is going to be the main villain, and that scene was a connection to basically Justice League and kind of showing like, yeah, he's going to be in the next movie. And from what the sources I got is that he's going to be a major part of this movie. Now, I've heard other stuff that there are going to be other villains in this movie, that it's not just going to be Steppenwolf. There's going to be at least 2 other ones. I've heard that, Ocean Master, which is one of Aquaman's enemies, is going to be up in there, as well as Ares, which is one of Wonder Woman's enemies in the comics. And so, I mean, to me, I don't have too much of a problem with it, but it's whatever. But I mean, I'm gonna get to that later. But yeah, because that's one of the topics. That's one of the topics. So I'm gonna get to that later. I didn't want to skip it or whatever, but the synopsis sound pretty cool. It's really not saying too much than what we already know, but I mean, it kind of got me excited for the movie. The only thing is that I've discussed this with my brother. Me and him talk a lot about DC movies and Marvel movies and all this stuff. But my fear is that I hope that this movie isn't overcrowded, because you have Batman v Superman, who had the DC Trinity and just had other characters that they had to balance out, and that movie seemed overcrowded. That movie seemed overbloated with just a lot of stuff, and it's not even just the characters, but it's just the certain plot points, subplot points, lead like other parts that's leading up to other movies, connections, and all this stuff trying to be balanced, and it was just like a juggling act, and they was just losing the balls. And this movie is juggling a lot as well. It has all the Justice League, more or less, minus or plus Superman or whatever, and then you have 3 villains up in the movie. Even 2 villains would be kind of too much. So it's like, is this movie going to be over bloated? Is it going to be oversaturated with stuff? Are they going to treat this as just a one-off movie, as far as just focusing on Justice League itself, or are they going to try to set up all the other different movies? Which they can do that, but it's like, do it in a way to where it's small, to where it shows that you're not trying to set up Aquaman and Cyborg and Flash movie and Green Lantern and blah blah blah, that you're just focused on making this a good movie. Because if you're more focused on trying to set it up, you're gonna have an incohesive movie. You're gonna have a movie that's, it's gonna be blatant that, okay, this is what they're trying to do. They're trying to set up, the cinematic universe, but they're not focused on making this a good movie. And that's kind of where they failed at Batman v Superman. So I hope that they don't make the mistake. But from right now, it kind of already seems like they're almost making that mistake. But with DC or, just Warner Brothers shuffling around everything, trying to, fix everything, change stuff, tweak, everything from just what Justice League and like the other movies, it seems like they're trying to go on the right path. It seems like they're trying to do something right with this cinematic universe, that they see where they're going wrong and they're trying to fix it. So, I mean, who knows? They could end up doing it like Joss Whedon did with the first Avengers movie. And even though they had a lot of characters, he was able to balance them. he was able to, focus on that character, this character, and even with Civil War with the Russos, how they balance all the characters, and you got to, you know, you got to spend time with different characters and know what they're about. And so I hope that they're able to do this with that movie, because if they're not, then they're going to have another Batman v Superman on their hands. But yeah, but I mean, the synopsis is the synopsis. It is what it is. And so moving on to the next topic, the Batman v Superman extended cut for the Blu-ray, which is going to be rated R for violence, not for like nudity or nothing like that, nothing crazy, but just for the violence. Is going to have a theatrical release, which is the theatrical release is going to be this coming Monday, the 27th of June, 2016. And they're going to play that, and it's just for one day only, for one night only or whatever. And it's going to be in like a lot of the major cities. Some of them, majority of them is going to be Austin, Chicago, Columbus, Houston, Phoenix, New York, and I believe maybe a few other cities. I've seen like Philadelphia and all that stuff. And they had it on WBtickets.com, but I tried to get tickets, but I couldn't do it. I mean, I didn't like the movie, but I wanted to see the extended cut and see what the other scenes add to the movie. But yeah, it's going to have a one night only theatrical cut version in theaters. I believe it's going to be about 3 hours. It's 151 minutes. So it's 30 minutes more. It's 30 minutes longer than the actual movie. So you're going to have a 3-hour movie that you're going to go see. The movie itself, 2.5 hours, 2 hours and 31 minutes. It was pretty long. It dragged. It was long. So I want to know, is 30 more minutes of additional footage that was taken out of the movie, is that going to make a difference? Is it going to make the movie better? Is it going to make it bearable for those 3 hours? Or is it just going to be, well, it's a little bit better and then, tweak? But yeah, it's going to have a theatrical run of one day in those major cities. More than likely, if you haven't got tickets by now, you're not going to get tickets. I've already tried. Chicago is all filled up. Maybe they have some seats opened or whatever, but yeah, that's what it is. It's going to have one night theatrical run, then it's going to be soon after that, it's going to be coming to Blu-ray. So you're not going to be like, oh, you got to wait a few months or whatever and all that stuff. Shortly after that, it's going to be on Blu-ray. So if you don't see it in theaters, this R-rated extended ultimate edition cut, you're going to see it on Blu-ray. So, I mean, you're not going to be freaking pulling your hair out or, crying at night, crying yourself to sleep at night because you ain't see it in theaters. You're going to see it. It's whatever. But yeah. So moving on to the next topic. This is actually not dealing with the DCEU, but it's actually dealing with the DC TV series universe, which is totally different. They're not doing what Marvel is doing, where it's connected to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and the Netflix series of Daredevil and Jessica Jones and Luke Cage and all that stuff, actually connecting with the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Iron Man movies, Avengers movies, and all that stuff. But this is a totally different universe. I'm gonna get back to the movie universe, but this is the TV universe. It's been came out as well as the movie news, but also TV series news of The Flash season 3. That anybody, and this is a spoiler. If you haven't seen Flash season 2 yet, or you haven't watched the Flash series, please do. That series, that show is so good, really good. What they can do with just the storylines and just how it is written and how the actors play their roles is done pretty good. But not to talk too much on that. And this is for spoilers. This is spoilers filled. If you haven't seen season 2, but spoilers, and I'm gonna keep going. At the end of season 2, as you all know, since you're listening, season 2 ended off with Barry Allen going back in time and saving his mom when prior, his mom passed. His father got framed for, well, not framed for, but like pinned for it and spent time in jail and blah blah. And so with the season, him going after Zoom, he ended up making peace with his mother's death, and then Zoom killed his father, and so that messed him up. And then after seeing the Man in the Iron Mask was the doppelganger of his father, it kind of messed him up, even more. So he went back in time and screwed with the timeline. So now it's been confirmed by Grant Gustin and just like Warner Brothers and all the people that's dealing with the TV, Flash, Arrows, and all that stuff, that this third season is going to be dealing with, whoever's familiar with it, the Flashpoint paradox storyline. And basically, I don't know too much about it. If my nephew was here, he's on episode 4. If he was here, he would explain it a whole lot better than what I explained. But basically, Barry Allen, from what I know, Barry Allen, the Flash, goes back in time, saves his mom from being killed, which alters the timeline. And within that, a lot of things change. One of them being one significant thing, which is not going to be in the show, but it's whatever. But in the comic books, I believe, I seen the movie about it, the cartoon movie. But yeah, instead of, one of the things that changed was that instead of Bruce Wayne's parents dying that fateful night, Bruce Wayne ended up dying, and Thomas Wayne, Bruce Wayne's father, ended up becoming Batman and doing things differently. Bruce Wayne didn't want to use guns. He didn't want to kill people. He wanted to just like hurt them pretty bad, and then that's whatever. But Thomas Wayne is basically the opposite. He uses guns. He kills people. Blah blah. And so there's a lot of things that change throughout the timeline, and so they're going on that storyline, and with Barry Allen going back in time and saving his mom from being killed, that changes and alters the storyline of what was previously done in season 2. So it's a headache. I know the people that's doing this, that's like writing all this stuff for the Flash, has got to be stressful, because when you're dealing with time and changing it and doing all this stuff, altering the timelines and stuff like that, it's a lot that goes into it. You have to understand and know and remember everything that you're doing, because you have to keep it consistent. You have to keep the continuity of it right. You can't contradict yourself while you're doing this, and that happened, this gotta happen, and that gotta happen. But I'm very interested in seeing it. I mean, it was only a matter of time that they were going to do the Flashpoint paradox. I didn't know that they were going to do it this soon, but they're dipping into it. Obviously, they're trying to do that. But the thing is that I'm kind of like curious on how they're going to do it. Is it going to affect Arrow, the show? Because he's going back in time and changing the timeline. So is that gonna affect Arrow? Is they gonna keep going with that timeline? Because they do have crossovers. So how is that gonna help? How is that gonna be handled? Then at the same time, even though Supergirl is in another, I guess you can say, alternate dimension or another Earth or whatever you want to say. I haven't seen the crossover between the Flash and Supergirl. I still need to get caught up. But is that going to affect Supergirl's show? And it's just all these questions are going to be hopefully answered before, these seasons start back up. But, I mean, I'm just curious to see how they're going to do it. I believe that he shouldn't have gone back in time and messed up the timeline. He finally got the girl that he's been dreaming of ever since a young age. And now, once he finally get her and get to the point where he can actually start a relationship with her after all the stuff that he done lost, he goes back in time and screws it up again. So and with that comes a lot of consequences, and it may have to deal with Wally West becoming a Flash or a Blue Flash or a Dark Flash or whatever you may have. is whole. I want to see if that's going to factor into what season 3 is going to become with the Flashpoint paradox. And so with that, I'm going to move on to the next topic. Oh yeah, and then on top of that, the first episode they confirmed of season 3 is going to be called Flashpoint. So yeah, and so with that said, moving on back to the movie universe, Justice League villains and the mother boxes. Now, as I was like about to skip over and say within the first topic, Steppenwolf has been confirmed for being the main villain. He's like the key villain. So even though they might have other villains in there, like I said, they might have Ocean Master or, Ares or whatever in there as well. They're not gonna, more than likely, they're not gonna play a bigger role than what Steppenwolf is going to play. And so, Steppenwolf, anybody that read the comic books know that he's like associated as well as Darkseid with mother boxes. I'm not too familiar with it. Anybody, can probably explain it better than me, but mother boxes, from what I know, can open up a dimension from wherever it's at to Apocalypse, which is the planet that Darkseid is like basically ruler of. And so, as far as I know, that there's 3 mother boxes out there, and not Superman. Mankind has one, as well as the not Asgardians. Gosh, why do I keep saying it? Asgard is a totally different place. But Amazonians, they have a mother box, as well as the Atlanteans have another mother box. And so, with them having mother boxes and that being connected with Darkseid and Steppenwolf, more than likely in this movie, Steppenwolf is going to be trying to collect those. And that's where Aquaman is going to come in. That's where Wonder Woman, of course, is going to come in, and Bruce Wayne and the Flash and stuff like that, to try and stop him from collecting all this, to get, Darkseid to come over into, Earth realm, or, just come to Earth or whatnot. And on top of that, parademons are going to be utilized more in this movie. When I saw them in Batman v Superman within the dream sequence, they were actually pretty cool. I didn't think that they were going to look like that, but they actually look pretty awesome. And I want to see them in this Justice League movie. I want to... I can't even think of the words to explain it, but it's just, I want to see the Justice League fight off these parademons. They looked freaking awesome. I was just wondering how they were going to do them, and just the way they had the design for them. They actually look like guys in suits, just wearing combat, a different, like, a military type combat, just a different look. That's how they looked. And it's like, I don't know too much about the parademons. People that read that are like DC fanboys can tell you more about it. But just Zack Snyder's vision for them in like the Batman v Superman, they looked awesome. So I can't wait to see more of the parademons. And like I said before, the deleted scene is kind of more of a connection to the Justice League and what they're planning on doing. And from what I've read, was that Zack Snyder actually he wanted to use it as a since that was one of the scenes that got cut out the movie, he wanted to use it as an end credit scene. And DC, what they're trying to do is which I agree with, I don't have no problem with it. They're trying to go for a darker tone with their movies, and they're trying to do the opposite of what Marvel is doing. Obviously, already, Marvel make good movies. But I'm just playing. But they're trying to do the opposite of what Marvel did. They're not trying to follow in Marvel's footsteps. They're trying to, do things differently. And so one of the things that Marvel was known for, which they're not the creator of, because there have been end credit scenes in other movies before Marvel movies started. It's just Marvel has made it popular, but Marvel has made the mid-credit and end-credit scene being necessary in all of their films. Not necessary, but, just a consistent thing throughout all of their films. Starting from Iron Man on to, even as recently as Civil War. But Zack Snyder was thinking about, he wanted to do it as an end credit scene, which, anybody who's seen the deleted scene of Lex Luthor talking to Steppenwolf, or just the scene where they're in the same room within Zod's ship, it's actually a pretty cool scene. It's only 45 minutes long, which I don't understand why they took it out, but I guess it was like, if the execs don't understand it, take it out. We don't care for it. But, it's whatever. It's kind of like, I feel like they needed that to put in there, because it was a weird scene, and it's going to get people to look up, who in the hell was that? Like, what is that? Trying to figure out and try and make sense of the scene. And so you're going to have more people intrigued of the movie, which I think they should have kept it. But Zack Snyder he wanted to put it as an end credit scene, but he changed his mind because he didn't want to be like Marvel. And that's basically what they're doing, is that they don't add end credit scene. Man of Steel didn't have one. Batman v Superman didn't have one. And that was the reason behind Batman v Superman 1. So I'm guessing Wonder Woman, Suicide Squad, and all them are not going to have them. But I think it's only a matter of time. They're going to have an end credit scene or mid credit scene. They're gonna do it. They're gonna be tempted to have like, I want to put this up in the movie so bad. I want to do this. And then they're like, forget it. We're gonna put this as a mid credit scene, or we're gonna put this as an end credit scene, or whatever. But yeah, but the scene was pretty awesome. It wasn't really too much to happen in it, but it kind of it kind of like sparked the curiosity as to wanting to know what the hell. Just basically what the hell. And yeah, so with that, I just want to see what the villains have to offer for this, and who are the other villains. Is Ocean Master and Ares the villains, and how they're gonna look, the design of them. I mean, they're already shooting it. I don't know if they're done shooting Justice League at this point, but I mean, well, no, you know what, they're not, because they haven't even got the actor for Steppenwolf. So yeah, I'm just curious to see how the designs of all these villains are gonna look. And then moving on to the next topic is another thing. They were talking about the two Batmobiles, or Batman's vehicles. I don't know if they're both Batmobiles, but just for the Justice League movies, that he has two. He has a new Batmobile, I guess, and it's supposed to be bigger than the regular Batmobile he was driving in Batman v Superman, or any other Batman incarnation prior to this movie. And it said the names of them. The first one is called the Nightcrawler, and it's supposed to have at least one action set piece in the movie. And we don't have no pictures for it. They haven't released how they look, no designs or anything for it. But from what I hear, it's supposed to be awesome. They're supposed to be huge. It's supposed to be big. And I guess like the Nightcrawler was used for like military purposes. And then from like Wayne Enterprises, before I guess like Wayne's family took over, or before Bruce took over the company or something like that. And then he just converted what they had and, just converted into a Batman vehicle. And then we have the other one called the Fox Flyer. And that one, I guess you could say, is equivalent to the Quinjet for, the Avengers. And it's supposed to be like that. I guess it's supposed to be like a Justice League vehicle. So I guess you can think of it like that. It's just going to be a vehicle just for the whole Justice League to, plan, whatever. Oh, we're going to save this city. Bam. Flash, Cyborg, go there, and blah, blah. And so I guess these vehicles are supposed to be badass. From what they did with the new Batmobile and Batman v Superman, I'm dying to see what these vehicles look like, because I have, without a doubt in my mind, that these vehicles are going to look badass. There's a lot of things that have a lot of doubts with the Justice League movie, and the first thing being Zack Snyder. Amongst other things, the designs for a lot of what he's done with the movies have been pretty good. So I know they, designs for the Batmobile and then the Foxfire, I guess we call it, the Quinjet of the DC universe is going to look amazing. It's going to look awesome. So I have no doubts about that. And moving on to the final topic of this podcast, which good timing in this one too. So yeah, the last topic is going to be the Justice League individual logos have gotten revealed. And the logos, their little posters of whoever, like Aquaman, Wonder Woman, Batman, and all that stuff. We've already seen Batman's logo. We've already seen Wonder Woman's logo. Actually, we've kind of seen all of them. If you've seen Batman v Superman in that scene, like I said, spoilers, in that scene where Bruce Wayne sends the video to Wonder Woman, whoever Lex Luthor has on the payroll of creating these specific signs, these metahumans, we've already kind of seen them, but they've released official pictures of the Aquaman logo, Flash logo, cyborgs, and all that stuff. And they are. I mean, they look pretty cool. They look decent. I mean, it ain't nothing too spectacular about it. I mean, if you've seen the old ones or whatever for the cartoons and comic books, then you've seen these. It's really nothing to them. They're decent looking or whatever. And then they showed the new logo for Justice League, and it's like, I like it. It's plain. It's not really razzle dazzle. It's white letters within a black background. And it has a star, I believe, around the eye part for the eye, whatever. And it looks good. Like, I like it. It's simple, but I actually like it. I mean, it's not nothing spectacular, but it'll do. So the posters are decent. Nothing standout-ish or whatever, but it works for what they're trying to do. They're not trying to do nothing like explosions and car chases and blah blah and all that stuff and crazy stuff. It just this is for that person, this is for that person, blah blah blah. So I mean, they're decent. I like them, especially the Justice League one. I really like that one. And so with that said, I am going to end this DC episode of the Take One podcast, episode 6, on that note. And I'd like to thank you guys for listening and putting up with my thoughts and ideas on just whatever I want to talk about. That's entertainment, whatever. And go ahead and check out my other stuff on my YouTube channel, Take One Entertainment Reviews. Everything is kind of like in the description below. If you haven't checked out my other podcasts, like I said, this is episode 6, so the links to episodes 1 through 5 is down there in the description, as well as the links to my movie reviews, mini reviews, and everything else that I'm doing on my channel. And if you like this video, which I hope you did, which I know you did, go ahead and give it a like, comment what you think about what I was talking about, the topics, you give your opinion, whether it's bad or good or whatever the heck. Subscribe to my channel to get more of this Take One podcast, because right now it's exclusively on YouTube, but I'm going to try and get it on other medias, and when I do, of course, I'll let y'all know, and this and that, and later episodes of my podcast. And as well as I'm working on a couple other things. New movie reviews are going to be put out shortly. I'm still going to do some other old ones that I'm going to just put out and all that stuff. And episode 7 should be coming out soon. Probably going to be out next week. And yeah, I think that's about it. Other than that, you can reach me on twitter.com/resultsasI1, and that's 1 as the number 1. Twitter.com/take1_reviews. Instagram, name on there is Take One Reviews, and Snapchat, August C. Jones. And I believe that's about it. Other than that, like I said, subscribe. I'm going to set up my Facebook page for the Take One Reviews, so Once I get that in order, I will also let you know and all that stuff and put it in the description below. But like I said, everything is in the description below. Anything I missed, it's in the description below. And yeah, that's it. So until next time, I will catch you guys later on this Take One podcast. Peace out.